Okay, so I have a plan. I want to teach the power of the metaphor and the power of the parable while teaching the science behind Kundalini. And I want to start from the ground up, which means your feet. But before I can do that, we have to have a discussion about overcomplication and oversimplification. Overcomplicating the process. Your conscious mind is not capable of performing all of the activities that it takes to make this work. It's just like when you walk. There are all kinds of little muscles that your brain has to manage in order for you to just be able to walk across the room. When you walk across the room, you know you have a feel for it. You know what it feels like. But all of those little individual processing things that have to happen for you to be able to pull that off, you're not conscious of those things. And this same thing has to happen inside of your energy bodies. When a skateboarder, if you ask a skateboarder to show you how to do a trick, they will slow down and become clumsy as they try to show you how to do it. And that's because that's the last time that they put conscious effort into adjusting all of the smaller muscles. After that, they turn it over to their subconscious mind. And so they have to go back to that clumsy point to teach. After that point, when they become good at performing a trick or an exercise, what happens is they've learned in packets, several steps strung together to create a packet, and several packets strung together to create a trick. And we have to do the same thing. Eventually, everything that you learn how to do energy-wise has to be turned over to another part of your consciousness that's actually designed to do all of those little things. The thing about it is the skateboarder doesn't actually get good at what they're doing until this happens. So, if you want to be good at it, that's how you get it done. Now, oversimplification. When a yogi or a guru or some teacher teaches you, when they start teaching you, they oversimplify everything. They're taught to. But oversimplification can cause a problem. We have to strike a balance between oversimplification and overcomplication. The best example of this is often you will hear a person when talking about Kundalini energy. And whenever we're talking about Kundalini, we are talking about energy. But when you hear them talk about it, they'll tell you that Kundalini is a feminine energy. And that's true. But they don't tell you how. See, masculine energy is the hard energy. The feminine energy is the soft energy. This is one of those things that's self-evident. As far as like masculine and feminine properties go, your bone would be considered masculine. Your bone marrow, where blood is created, life is created, would be considered feminine. But cartilage, being even softer, would be considered even more feminine. But the liquid inside of your cartilage would be even more feminine than that. So the tough part of cartilage would be the masculine part of the cartilage, which is a feminine thing. And so another way to describe this is when we talk about Kundalini energy, you have, water is soft. So water is the feminine aspect of energy. And since Kundalini energy flows, it's feminine. like water is feminine, but it's not that simple because, as we've already established, you have degrees of masculine and degrees of feminine. So when we talk in terms of the masculine and feminine for Kundalini, it's Ida and Pingala. And where they mix is Sushumna. That's relatively neutral, right? But this is how it really works. If you consider the feminine aspect to be vinegar, right? And the masculine aspect, which would be like rock or powdered, to be baking soda, and you mix baking soda and vinegar together, you get a reaction that you get energy from. So we add the baking soda to water and the vinegar to water on the other channel, and now we have a feminine energy with masculine and feminine properties that, when brought together, react. The thing about it is this is where it becomes very important to understand the power of intent. The flip side, if intent was a coin, the other side of the coin would be expectation. You must have the proper intent and eventually the proper expectation. The energy in our body responds to our consciousness and it responds to our intent. That is the point where the subconscious takes over. When you are a skateboarder and you intend to do a specific trick, right? All of that other stuff is kind of taken care of. And if you're practiced and you're good at it, you expect it to go off flawlessly. The universe rushes to meet your every expectation, and it rushes to meet your intent. When you intend to raise feminine energy up your spine, that's what'll happen. But in and of itself, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of concentration. It's going to make you tired, and you're not going to get much out of it. Your intent should be to combine the feminine and combine the masculine so that there's a reaction like baking soda and vinegar. But sometimes your intent should be to fill Ida and fill Pingala to the brim, and to fill Sushumna where they react to the brim. So you have abundance of everything. It's not as simple as that constant reaction taking place. And Ida and Pingala are not the only sources of energy to power Kundalini. Now, I'd like to take a moment to talk about how you talk to Kundalini, how you communicate with it. When I first raised Kundalini in the very beginning, it was a pulse that starts at your tailbone and goes all the way up to your spine and hits the back of your head. And it causes a headache. It hurts. It literally pounds against the back of your head. And I ran across some video of other people talking about this experience, and this one poor guy had literally been living with that for 5 years before his body figured out what to do. Because I was prepared to ask questions, ask and ye shall receive, I asked Kundalini, what do I do? And in my imagination, I saw a face on the back of my head, where the eyebrows were at the base of my spine. And I knew the goal was to relax the eyebrows like that, right? And so I did that, and I relaxed those two muscles at the base of the spine right there, and it opened up a gate. And the migraine that I was experiencing went away immediately. It's very important that you learn how to communicate, how to understand, how to ask the right questions. and how to work a balance between overcomplication and oversimplification. You must have a true understanding, and you have to have proper intent that develops into proper expectation. Um, Now, actually, I think I'm done for today.